Hey everyone, welcome to Greenlight. So, today we're going to be talking about Blu-ray Tuesday movies that are coming out, and we got a bunch of them coming out today. A bunch of big films coming out with a bunch of major stars. We have Old by M. Night Shyamalan. We also have Snake Eyes, and Injustice is out today as well. And we're going to have a bunch of steelbooks to go through, not only with these films, but many other films coming out today too. So let's get started right now. And I got some announcements at the end of this live stream. So go ahead and wait around. Go ahead and find out what's going on this channel. And we got some really cool announcements and new videos coming out as well. So let's get started and let's get going right now. So, my name is Jovanni Santos, and if you haven't been here before, we do videos like this every week. I do this live broadcast of Blu-ray Tuesday movies and talking about their special features and how they can help you as a filmmaker, especially one that is purchasing all these types of films and all that stuff, and you want to know what you're getting out of it as far as like education if you're interested in filmmaking, as well as in this channel. If you're also interested in filmmaking, there's many other videos on this channel too. I do making of videos for movies that are coming out to theaters. This week we will have two coming up, which is The French Dispatch and Dune. So stay tuned for that as well. And I'll be announcing a couple more videos at the end of this video, so I'll let you know more about that. But we do a lot of filmmaking videos and unboxing videos. I got a camera unboxing coming up soon. I guess I'm just gonna announce it here so you can see here. This is kind of like a mini cinema camera that I got going on in here. But I'll be explaining a lot at the end of this video about these videos that I'm going to be doing for this. I'm going to be doing a couple of them. So let's get going. Let's get started on our first Blu-ray today. And again, we're doing all this live. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification bell, so you know when we do it live, so you can jump on the live chat and we could talk about these Blu-rays. All right, so let's go into our first Blu-ray. And our first Blu-ray today is Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, it was a little bit tough to see which one of the new releases I was going to use as the front, as the main one today of the Blu-rays, and I felt like M. Night Shyamalan's Old is the perfect one for that. If you're currently watching this live, I don't believe I have the correct thumbnail out currently right now, but I'll change that very soon. Excuse me. Just wanted to jump on here live a lot quicker. That's my whole thing. All right. So with all that being said, this is I believe this poster in general, because this is from the poster of Old, is really clever, with the one side getting super old, and then you see the bones of the toes and the feet and everything like that on one side of a human. So that's it's powerful imagery, and that's one thing I love about M. Night Shyamalan. He always ends up getting a lot of like fantastic artists around his work, and to accentuate what this film's about just in one image says a lot. So I just wanted kind of leave that out, put that out here, as well as his daughter, I believe, also worked on this film. So let's this is the Blu-ray, and I believe it's just it could just be like this. I don't think it comes with the slipcover, but we're gonna see the slipcover now of the 4K, and you know the 4K always looks really sleek and nice with the silver and the black. This looks really good, and I don't know, let me know in the comments down below or in the live chat if you're looking to purchase this on Blu-ray or 4K. So let's check out the special features real quick. Let's flip it in the back, and then we could check out the steelbook after. All right. So one thing I want to point out here, this is Universal releasing. So one thing that's really cool is that Universal's really big on featurettes and special features too, as well as many other companies. But they do a pretty good job. And seeing that this is a Universal releasing, and let's zoom in here. They have including deleted scenes, which is something I always talk about, where it's just scenes that don't propel the movie forward. If it doesn't propel the story forward and doesn't tell something new to your audience, it's kind of slowing the story down. You end up just throwing it in a deleted scene or on the chopping block. But basically, these are scenes that probably read really well on screenplay, but didn't go over well when edited together. Maybe some information was said more than once, and it was just like, I guess the audience kind of understands it with maybe a close up that we got of something before that. Sometimes it works out that way with just a B-roll shot, and it says everything. You didn't need a character to explain that. Sometimes you don't want people to foreshadow too much. So really cool here is plus go behind the scenes with M. Night Shyamalan with 4 featurettes. Now, whenever they really go ahead and just let you know that there's going to be 4-parter featurettes. Featurettes are usually 15 to 20 minutes long. They could be even shorter than that too. With it being a 4-parter, we could even be a little bit duped, and it could be less than 10 minutes each. But I'm expecting, just because it's Universal, I'm expecting it to be maybe 10 to 15 minutes each for each of the 4-parters. So this is really cool. I'm expecting them to go through a lot of information when it comes to the production of this film, hopefully going from pre-production all the way to post-production. But they may just go from pre-production into production, just on the fact that M. Night Shyamalan writes his own films, so they usually talk a lot about pre-production stuff when it comes to M. Night, which is why I always lean into certain directors and stuff like that, especially when it comes to DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm very keen on when certain filmmakers come out with their movies, and my expectations are a certain way because of their prior releases. Now, Universal released Glass with M. Night Shyamalan as well, and those were pretty lengthy featurettes on each one, so I'm expecting this to go deep into this film. From what I recall, I don't know if I believe I saw a lot of people wearing masks and stuff like that, so I'm expecting that this was one of the films that was shot during the pandemic and everything like that. So I'm curious to see how quick they had to put the film together, or the script together, to go ahead and film here. Maybe he did have the idea of the movie already and was like, wow, I could already do this outside and all that. We're not going to be indoors, so we can follow COVID protocols and stuff. So that's really, really cool. So if you want to check out some quick behind the scenes here, stick around. At the end of this live stream, there will be a video where you can click on and go ahead and check out M. Night Shyamalan's Old, and check out the behind the scenes that I have here for this film. And they do talk about the writing and everything in production of this film, including working with his daughter. So it's really, really cool. So go ahead and check that out at the end of this live stream. So let me know on the comments down below, or in the live chat of in the comments down below of the playback, or in the live chat, if you have any questions as far as like which one of these you're looking to purchase, and if they have the special features on the Blu-ray, which they do. So you can go ahead and check that out. Let's check out the Steelbook. All right, so that wasn't an easy segue for me for some reason. Going from one thing to another here. Usually I'm really good at that. I don't know what happened there. So let's see, with Old, this is really cool with black and white imagery here. Very simple. Sometimes I like a simple artwork says a lot, and this is really cool with the sands of time type of idea, and the sands of the beaches and all that, and the sands turning into people, and time running out for them. And then the inside, you get this overview of the rocks and everything, and them being entrapped into this beautiful oasis of this beach, this hidden beach that they found. So this is really cool. Let me know in the comments down below or in the live chat if you're looking to purchase the steelbook version. Very, very curious to know. So with that being said, let's move on to our next film. And old is included in the description below, where I have IMDb links, IMDb links, so you can check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, and everything like that as well. And go ahead and check those out. You can find out a lot of great information about these films through IMDb, including technical specs and stuff like that as well. So you can go ahead and check that out after this live chat, and we're going to move on to our next film. All the films that we talk about here today have IMDb links in the description below, so you can go ahead and check those out as well. But go ahead and stay at the end of this live stream. There will be a pop-up in the playback. There will be like this video for you to click on, so you can see the behind the scenes of old that I have here as well. So let's check out Snake Eyes. So we have Snake Eyes here. This is a slipcover Blu-ray of Snake Eyes. And let's see. I do have the behind the scenes for the Blu-ray of Snake Eyes. So we're going to get into the behind the scenes real quick. Usually when it comes to 4K or whatever copy of the back end that I do have for either one of these releases of Snake Eyes or any one of these movies, I tend to just show it right after, so it's more so you understand more, like this comes with the Blu-ray and stuff like that. But this back end here that I did get is an over-the-seas European back end for Snake Eyes, and lately I've been doing that sometimes if I find it, on the internet anywhere. I tend to go and just put them up because they have been pretty good and pretty similar to the American releases. So let's get it right here in the middle. Zoom in this in. All right, all new Snake Eyes short film. Discover. Excuse me. Just very gassy. Just like, excuse me for that. Just had a burrito right now from Sharky's. If you're from out here in Los Angeles, you know what Sharky's is all about. Let me know in the live chat and in the playback. But I just had a burrito from there, so let me just get a quick drink of water while you guys have a chance to look at this. All right. So it says that there's all new Snake Eyes short film. So it's one, discover the secrets of Snake Eyes, legendary sword. So Snake Eyes' legendary sword, and the sword that he has in this film, and why it's so legendary. I never really was one to follow the G.I. Joe movies. I did when I was a kid. I watched a lot of G.I. Joe on TV. They're so different from what the movies are like, but Snake Eyes kind of looked really cool, and I've actually have this on my list to check out because I did see the other two G.I. Joe films. Not a huge fan of them. Was more interested in the sequel of the G.I. Joe movie, Retaliation. And it was just the way it was shot, action scenes and stuff felt more like old school 90s action movies, which is something you don't see too often now. Everything is digital and 3D VFX, which is really cool. And I think it's really good for like people like myself in the indie film world when you're trying to expand your storytelling and stuff like that. So things like that, and if you could do it right, sometimes less is more too. You don't always want to have it all in the front. Like anything in the foreground would just look ultra fake if you were an independent filmmaker doing that, unless you're really, really talented in 3D VFX and modeling. Anything like that. All right, so with that being said, then there's five deleted scenes, and five deleted scenes are usually scenes, like I always say, that end up on the chopping block. They don't tend to propel the story forward and explain anything new within the story. So they usually just take those out. The next thing is enter Snake Eyes. Meet the man behind the mask. So we get to meet the actor playing Snake Eyes and get his point of view on his character and on the film as a whole as well, which is great for filmmakers, directors that are great with actors and stuff like that, know a lot about how actors work, and this is something that I would recommend checking out and seeing what their thoughts are on their character, and how they may be taking certain scenes and or anything like that with just as a character and being within being into their character. So these type of things are good to check out, so you get a point of view from the main actor, obviously, or anybody playing their role in any film. So the next thing I see here is a deadly ensemble. Meet the Joes and Cobras. Meet the Joes and Cobras. That's cool. So we get to see some of the G.I. Joes in this film too, which I didn't quite expect, which is really cool. So they're going to talk about the cast, obviously, here, and get a little bit into it, because this is Paramount. I'm not expecting, it's kind of MGM and Paramount, but maybe close to a 10-minute each one of those two so far. And then the next thing I see is Arashikaj. I'm probably saying that totally wrong here. Arashikaj. Inside the elite ninja warrior clan. So they're obviously gonna dive in here and talk more about the storyline when it comes to these characters, including with all these other videos. So when it comes to behind the scenes stuff, you're probably going to see you're gonna have to read in between the lines. So you're gonna see a lot of B-roll stuff, and then these character actors talking about their characters within the making of these interviews and stuff like that. Now I do have a making of Snake Eyes here on this channel as well, if you want to go ahead and check those out right after Old, and I'll include it at the end of this video. It's called Onset with Greenlight, and and I have a whole playlist filled with these behind the scenes, and these two movies are included. Wow, so I kind of was hoping a little bit more, maybe like a scene about action and stuff like that. So maybe in one of these, like inside the elite ninja warrior clan, that should definitely get into maybe the action of this film and stuff like that, and get into the action scenes as well, maybe the stunts. But it seems more like they're just going to be talking about the story within these little behind the scenes, like these little featurettes. They'll call them features, special features, I guess, but these aren't really like featurettes or anything. They didn't really call it anything, but whenever they usually are wordy like this and meet the man behind the mask and stuff like that, it's just you're not really gonna have a time with the director or anything like that. It's really with the actors and everything, which is still good and have a lot of information for you to learn from when it comes to working with actors. So I highly recommend checking these out. So let's move on to their other releases that they have for this. For Snake Eyes. So I have the 4K release here as well. Oh wow, I don't have the. I did kind of download it, but it's okay. I don't have it here included here. So I have the 4K and Blu-ray pictures as well for the releases of Snake Eyes. That includes, it's like a 3-movie collection. So you get the first 2 G.I. Joes, including with Snake Eyes, and they have a Blu-ray version and a 4K version as well. And with all that being said, let's move into the Steelbook version, which we get to see, which is also released on Amazon, so you can buy the Steelbook on Amazon as well. I believe it was like $30.99 or something like that. And then it's that, and then I think you can get it at Best Buy as well. So with all that being said, I have Snake Eyes in the description below, so you can check out the cast and crew and everything like that down in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films we talk about here today. So let's move on to our next film. And our next film today we're going to be talking about is Injustice. Injustice is out on Blu-ray and 4K as well. This is the slipcover for the Blu-ray, and they Warner Brothers Animation and DC have been very good at having slipcovers for their Blu-ray covers for their movies. So with all that being said, let's fade into the back end. We go and see the back end here and talk about some of the special features. I'm gonna zoom in and see if there's anything really to talk about. It just looks like the norm when it comes to DC films, but we're gonna check it out anyways. Something coming from their vault, it looks like. So we got adventures in storytelling. Very cool, yes, and this is what I hope for when it comes to these type of behind-the-scenes special features for the DC animated universe. Sometimes they'll have something with storytelling, and they'll be talking about how they translated from comic into a screen, or in this case, I'm guessing Injustice is from the comic, the game itself, into animated an animated film. So it says Injustice, Crisis and Conflict. So it's really cool because this is something that's very big in filmmaking, and in any film school they're going to teach you when they talk about screenwriting and storytelling. You always need some type of conflict for your character, crisis or other. There needs to be a conflict going on. If not, there's no story. There's no movie without conflict. You need conflict in anything. So you can't just tell me you have a story with no conflict. It's not going to go anywhere. Plus, people aren't going to watch it. They're not going to get past 10-15 minutes if there is no conflict or any building tension throughout your film. So unless you're like Seinfeld, but even there's a lot of conflict in every episode. Seinfeld's probably the most famous movie, famous show or famous story about anything that is about nothing, supposedly. But it really is about something. It's about a group of friends, and then they have a lot of conflict in every episode when it comes to normal daily things that we all run into. So there's a lot of conflict, in that show. So, it's something big in screenwriting. So this is great that we get to see it here and hear it from some really credible storytellers when it comes to the DC universe. So the next thing I see here from the vault is, plus from the DC vault, you get 2 bonus cartoons, and I can only imagine what kind of cool stuff you're going to be getting from those. So really, really cool stuff here. Chocked filled with stuff, like I usually say, with the Injustice Blu-ray and 4K. So let's check out the 4K real quick, the 4K slipcover, which looks the same, but it looks kind of sweet with the silver and black of the 4K Ultra HD. All right, and let's show the 4K Steelbook, which I think is pretty sweet too. Actually, if I had money for this, I'd probably go for that. This is really, really dope. Inside, it has I guess Kal-El's Superman's Fortress, I think, and some machine. I haven't seen this film yet, but it is on my list to check it out. I have actually thought about checking out the story mode of Injustice, the video game. So since they made this into an actual film, I didn't quite think about checking it out, but now I'm thinking I should check it out. That this is a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, and the back end there, the back part of it is pretty nice too. out in space. It's pretty sweet. I'm telling you, the artistry when it comes from Warner Brothers Animation and their DC line of animated films are top tier, or just, they're the all stars when it comes to animated comic books, because not even Marvel comic books can touch these guys. So with all that being said, you don't hear me saying that usually with when it comes to most things and stuff like that, but when it comes to storytelling and everything all around animation and everything like that, Warner Brothers and DC Universe are doing the best right now. So you can quote that from me right now. And you can get that quote from a lot of people, I'm thinking, too, that are huge DC fans as well. But even Marvel fans included, they would say that as well, that the Marvel animated universe isn't so strong as it is in the DC. But, things go hand in hand, right? Sometimes it's tough, in the live action universe for DC, but hopefully we get a huge thing turnaround within next year. We're getting already a bunch of movies with the Flash and the Batman. It's getting their own movie, and 2023 we get Shazam Part 2 and stuff like that. Aquaman 2 comes out, I think, next year too. So DC is coming back strong next year, which is really, really dope. Let me know down in the comments down below, or the playback, or in the live chat, if you love DC films and what are your favorite DC films as well. So let's move on to our next film that's released today. And our next film that's released today is The Protege. And like I said about all these films, The Protege is included in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. Now, this stars Michael Keaton. You got Maggie Q and Samuel L. Jackson in here. This is an action extravaganza type of movie. It's directed by the director who directed Casino Royale, which is one of the best James Bond movies, especially one of the best Daniel Craig James Bond films. So yeah, he's fantastic in here, and it's the studio that brought you John Wick. Oh, okay, that's what they're trying to say. So it's nobody that's involved in this film made John Wick. I really just want to stress that out here, because a lot of studios to do that sometimes to push their film a little bit more and get people to pick it up or rent it or whatever have you. So they get a lot more notoriety. It just didn't get a lot of play, I guess, The Protege. But it looked really good in the like the trailers and stuff like that when it was being released in theaters. So I highly recommend checking it out. I do not have the back end here, but I do have, let's check out the 4K. The 4K covers the same, more or less. And man, it just really frustrates me. I couldn't find the back end for this and see what kind of making ofs there are for this. But I like to invite you out there to hit me up on Instagram, send me a screenshot of your back end for any one of these movies that I do not include. If it really does have making of, send it to me and I'll include it within next week's live chat, live stream for a Blu-ray Tuesday live, basically. So let's move on to our next film. And our next film today, which I don't have a back end to as well, is The Night House, and it stars Rebecca Hall, and I guess she's supposedly coming up big. I can't recall too much of her films, but I remember her face for some reason and some stuff. So this is actually, oddly, a Disney Buena Vista releasing. So let me see here. I'm just gonna zoom in here, do a little bit of investigation stuff. Yeah, so this is a Fox Searchlight. That's why. Okay, cool. This is a horror film that's out now today on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check it out in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. And let me know in the live chat or in the live chat or in the playback which one of these films you're gonna rent or check out or purchase yourself. So let's move on to our next film. I have The Night House in the description below, like I said, for IMDb links. So moving on to our next film, and our next film is a Mark Wahlberg film based on a true story called Joey Bell. I guess Joe Bell, probably. It's Joe Bell. It just reminds me of a film. It just looks so similar to a cover of another movie that's coming out next week on Blu-ray. So I highly recommend sticking around here by next week, so that next week you could check it out and see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to be talking about that next week too. And that movie is called Stillwater, and it stars Matt Damon. And then this one's Mark Wahlberg with Joe Bell. This is about Joe Bell. I'm not sure. I forgot what this was about because the other one confused me so much. But it's just so funny. So let's check out the back end here. Not to hate on this film or anything like that. But this film has its own story as well. So there is no back end or anything like that, but I will read the synopsis here for you. The true story of a small town working class father who embarks on a solo walk across the U.S. crusade against bullying after his son is tormented in high school. Wow, that's really messed up, and that happens a lot more than we think about like bullying and stuff like that and all that. That goes a lot farther into, I believe, our humanity. So, which is why this turns into a film. But basically, this is a true story, just like Matt Damon's movie is also a true story, which comes out next week, which is kind of funny. But a producer of Lone Survivor, really. And it's not the director of Lone Survivor, but cool. Mark Wahlberg, and it's out now on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check this film out. I have IMDb links for Joe Bell in the description below, so you can check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, and everything like that as well. So let's move on to our next films, because our next films don't really have back ends. But they are released today on Blu-ray. And our next one is No Man of God. So No Man of God stars Elijah Wood and Luke Kirby. We have IMDb links for this film in the description below, so you can check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, and everything like that. You can even check out the technical specs when it comes to independent films. Check out what they're working with, so you know what you need, more or less. Not that you need anything like that. Nowadays, I feel like with a camera on your phone and good storytelling, you could create a little short film with your friends and get going and start telling stories. That's all I recommend. Just start telling stories, because at some point, that's really the whole name in the game, is to tell stories. Everything else is something that can be taught. These tools that we use, sound and audio and video mixed together, and then using VFX and all, these are all tools and everything needed to create these scenes, but you got to know what you need and educate yourself for all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see on IMDb, see what kind of equipment they use, see what you need or what you don't need. Sometimes you don't need the most expensive camera out there, you know. So let's move on to our next film. And our next film out today on Blu-ray today is Needle in a Timestack. It's out now today on Blu-ray, and you can go ahead and check it out in the description below. I have IMDb links for this film and for all the films that we talk about here today. You can check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, even the locations, and see where they filmed at as well. So let's move on to our next film, and our next film is, I would believe, Over the Seas releasing, and it's called Last Man Down. And we have the front cover, and we also have the back end too here as well. And here's the back end. There aren't any special features or anything like that, but this film is released today on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check it out. In the description below, I have IMDb links where you can check out the filmmakers, check out the cast and crew, the trailers, and everything like that as well. Alright, so let's move on to our next film. We got a lot to kind of go over today. There's really a lot more films out today than it's ever been in a very long time. So our next film is The Survivalist. The Survivalist also has a back end here, so let's go ahead and check it out. And it stars Jonathan Rhys Meyers, who was in Mission Impossible 3, and then we have John Malkovich as well. So let's check out the back end where we have a director's commentary. And usually, director's commentary, people laugh at things like that and just kind of skate by it. I kind of recommend checking it out, especially when it comes to lower budget films. I'm not saying this is like a lower budget movie. When you have two big stars in your film and you're paying for these stars, it's not a low budget movie anymore. You're already thresholding over $1 million picture. So if you're under 1 million or even at 1 million, you're an independent movie. But anything under 10 million is already an independent movie in the eyes of Hollywood. So even if this is under 10 million, it's still an independent movie, independent film. And I highly recommend checking out the commentary for this director's commentary for this film, so you can learn more about how it was for him or her to be working with, I believe it was him, working with the filmmakers. I'm working with these actors, sorry, these phenomenal actors like John Malkovich and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. So let's with all that being said, go ahead and check out this movie in the description below. I have IMDb links for the trailer, for the cast and crew, and everything like that as well. So let's move on to our next film. And our next film is Ouija Japan. Let the hunt begin. So, this is like a Ouija board or something like that. I forget how they say it in English. A Ouija board or something. But I guess this is a Japan version. But it's out now on Blu-ray, so you can go ahead and check it out in the description below. So if you're interested in horror films, we have in the description below, you got trailers and everything like that, and the cast and crew as well. So it's out now today on Blu-ray. So let's move on to our next film. Our next film is Coppelia. Coppelia is out now in the description below. I don't even know if I said that correctly. I'm Hispanic, so I'm just reading it in Spanish because it feels like it is like that. They're dancing. They could be dancing salsa here, for all I know. But let me know in the description below if you are interested in this film. The comments down below of the playback, or in the live chat of if you want. If you've heard of this film, and if you have the back end of this film, definitely hit me up and let me know. There's some really cool stuff from this film, so I highly recommend checking it out in the description below. So I'm just saying Coppelia. I'm thinking it's how you say this name here, so go ahead and check it out in the description. We'll have IMDb links for this film and for all the films we talk about here today. So let's move on to our next film. And our next film is for more horror fans, fanatics out there. We have Homecoming Massacre. It's out now on Blu-ray today as well. We don't have back ends for this either. So let's check out our next of the releases. And our next of the releases today is Once I Was Engaged. And it's from the creators of Once I Was a Beehive. I guess up there it says. But this is a romantic comedy that's out now today on Blu-ray. This is great for couples. Trust me. That's one of the things that I just enjoy now. That the world's become so stressful and stuff like that. That sometimes just watching a silly romantic comedy or something like that is very, very soothing. You always know how they're going to end in a sense, or how they're going to go more or less. And if they don't and they kind of maneuver a little bit, I like that. That's great. Good job for that. It kind of helps me because it's like, to me, it reminds me a lot of action movies too, because they're more or less story-wise, they're more or less the same. The action hero always ends up alive at the end of that movie, the main action hero. So this is how it is in these films too. So, and that's what I love, and I love being able to have that as well, and enjoy it like a vacation. But I love if you've been here before, you already know that I've been diving myself into constantly, always into independent films and stuff like that. And I love films that are very, very strong in storytelling too. So with all that being said, this is out now on Blu-ray, Once I Was Engaged. You can check it out in the description below, where I have IMDb links for the filmmakers, for the cast and crew, and everything like that as well. And this is the last of the new releases today, but we haven't finished all the releases. So we're going to go into the re-releases today. And our first of the re-releases is Scream. Scream is out now on 4K. This is the slipcover for the Scream 4K. I do not have the back end here, and I kind of hoped I did, and I was looking everywhere, and I wished I did, but I don't. So I tried very hard. It was kind of frustrating because it would have been really cool. But now you see here's the Steelbook, which is very, very clever, and from what I'm gathering is one of the harder ones to find today on Blu-ray on Steelbook. So this is clever artwork with you already have Drew Barrymore inside the cover there, and if you've seen this film, you already know why she's even on the cover or anywhere around that and stuff like that. And then over here on the back of the Steelbook with the phone call, do you like scary movies? You know, it's really cool. I think it's a very clever and well done Steelbook cover. So with all that being said, let's move on to our next of the re-releases today. And the next one is a classic, is The Incredible Shrinking Man. I don't believe there is any like special features for this, but let's I'm gonna quickly go to the Criterion website and see, and I can try and just they're doing a 24-hour flash sale for 50% off today on Criterion Collection movies through their website. I'm not sure if it's also included on Amazon, which I'll open it up here since we're talking about Criterion Collections today. Let's see here. Criterion Collection Blu-rays. Everything is... It looks like the pre-orders are 30% off, 28% off. Yeah, everything is half off. So everything's currently half off right now for a 24-hour flash sale of Criterion Collection on Amazon and on their website, and I'm guessing it's like that maybe on Barnes & Noble's website as well. Let's see, current shop, the collection. Come on, I need special features. I should just search for it. The Incredible Shrinking Man. Here we go. Alright, so it does have some special features. So The Incredible Shrinking Man, which you could probably get it today half off as well. It'd be $20, it looks like, here on their website. So, and it even has the timer up on the top. So, it says 17 hours. You got 17 hours and 40 minutes left, 41 minutes left. For their flash sale for 50% off on Criterion Collection. This is really, really cool, and this is what I love about doing this live, and this is cool that they're doing this today on Tuesday when they release something. So let's kind of get into these special features for The Incredible Shrinking Man. So a new 4K digital restoration, new audio commentary feature, genre film historian, some film historians, and then a new program on the film's special effects by effects expert Greg Barron and Ben Burt. And Ben Burt is famous for a lot of miniature work, I believe, and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So you get their take on the Incredible Shrinking Man and how they were able to do the special effects there. So that's one of the things that I was kind of hoping for to find here, and that's what I wanted to find out. And these are cool because these are techniques that sometimes you find old techniques that are used on older films like this, and that are brought into newer films, or like just yesterday a movie coming out type film or something like that, and I wouldn't be surprised that Dune didn't use some miniatures or something, or some real some forced perspective stuff and stuff like that. I know the original Dune used a lot of force perspectives and stuff like that, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did that here in some way. But that's really, really cool. They'll dive into that there. And then new conversation between filmmaker Joe Dante and comedian and writer Donna Gold. All really cool. Joe Dante, I believe he directed, I wonder if he directed like Twister or something like that. Joe Dante. Was it? Yeah, I believe he directed. Yeah, he was I believe he's a Spielberg guy in a sense, where he came from one of his one of Spielberg's produced movies. I believe Joe Dante did The Batteries Not Included or something like that. I wonder if he did that. I didn't get to finish that movie, or I didn't actually get to see it. I put it on my list, but I believe it is Joe Dante. Is it, or he did something else? Well, I think he did Twister though. Well, I could be wrong, so I'm gonna find out. Come on. Yeah, oh, he directed Inner Space. So that's what it was that I had seen. So I did see that. And Gremlins, Small Soldiers. Man, I grew up with Small Soldiers. Yeah, that's a classic. So yeah, he's a phenomenal director. But he's here talking about these things. So he's done a lot of VFX stuff. Like Gremlins, working on Gremlins and Inner Space, as well as Small Soldiers. I say that is definitely one to check out. So, with all that being said, the next thing is an auteur on the campus. On the campus, Jack Arnold at Universal, director's cut of 2021. So then an interview with 2016 from 2016 with Richard Christian Matheson, novelist and screenwriter Richard Matheson's son. And then interview from 1983 with director Jack Arnold. Oh, that's pretty cool. And then 8mm home cinema version from the 1969 film, from 1969. And then the lost music of The Incredible Shrinking Man. And then trailer and teasers narrated by filmmaker Orson Welles. Wow, that's cool too. Plus an essay by critic Jeffrey O'Brien. So this is really cool. And one thing that I love talking about when it comes to Criterion Collections is their special features, because not only do their commentaries and stuff like that, even when it comes to older films, come from phenomenal filmmakers of today, or of all time, like even somebody like Orson Welles, getting an educational look on The Incredible Shrinking Man at any point, and just giving so much content like they do here when it comes to Criterion Collections, especially on older films like this, that they have no special features, and movies just, they'll most likely have a trailer cut together for them, but that's it, these, and a lot of even the black and white silent films that are coming out on Criterion Collection, for them to have commentary by any film historian or anything like that is incredible. These are things that you want to hear, or you pay film school for, that you go to film school to do, and sit there and listen to people talk about these older films. But you get legit film historians, big time film historians, telling you their take on classics. So I highly recommend checking this one out, and we're gonna move on to our next of the re-releases, which I also don't have the back end for, but is one of my favorite films. And it's Apocalypse Now, and you can check this steelbook out at Best Buy right now. It's the only place you could check this out at, and it's at Best Buy. Really, really cool artwork, I gotta say, and sometimes less is more, but this one they did just a little bit, and it was just a little bit more, and it looks gorgeous. This whole like fiery kind of orange and red, like this whole thing going on of the silhouettes and stuff like that of the front and the back of the steelbook. And it just looks cool. And then you're already getting a steelbook, a slipcover for that, and I already could tell that it's a plastic kind of see-through back or something like that. So it's definitely a collector's item. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Trying not to burp so hard. But with all that being said, that means I gotta move on to the next one, which is our last of the re-releases today, and it's released on 4K Blu-ray, and it's The Silence of the Lambs on 4K Blu-ray today, and this is the slipcover. I don't believe that they have a steelbook out. I went looking around to see if there was a steelbook for it, even get a picture of it, but I'm not too sure. I think it's just like this. It's just a slipcover, but there is a Criterion Collection version for this film, so I highly recommend checking those out, man. Like seriously, if I were to choose, I think I'd probably take the Criterion Collection over this. I don't really know what the back end is on this. I looked around to see if I could find special features, but the special features will probably be more or less the same as their recent releases when it comes to the Blu-ray versions of this, and or maybe the Criterion, but I believe the Criterion's going to go a lot further when it comes to special features and education there when it comes to filmmaking. So that's really, really cool. Oh, sorry about that. That's phenomenal, and thank you. I really appreciate all of you for joining me here live. I'm gonna go ahead and check out here to see what everybody is doing on the live chat. Nobody jumped on the live chat, so that's okay. But make sure you stick around. Check out either one of these videos. I have some videos that I'm going to leave here when it comes to some making of stuff of movies coming out in theaters. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know about the ones coming out this weekend, which is The French Dispatch, and we have Dune coming out this weekend as well, which I'm going to do a mashup of all their special features and trying to make sure I only include filmmaking information and stuff in there. So with all that being said, make sure you hit the notification bell and the subscribe button so you know more about these videos. And I got a filmmaking video like this coming up very soon about my Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II, which is a 2021 release, and I highly recommend sticking around and finding out how I hooked this up and put a Helios 44-2, I believe, that's on here, a 58mm lens, and all that. So it'll be multiple videos. I'll be doing a 3-part video on this, and I'll be doing the unboxing first. The second video will be about the lenses, because I have another lens over here, which is like a Takamar. So we'll be talking about that as well, all and what I got for that. And then the third video would just be about my film settings for the camera to get film look on under $1,000. Just trying to get a film look in anything for under $1,000 is amazing. So I highly recommend checking this out so you can find out more about this. All right, so see you here later. So I'll catch you here later, actually.